You know that one friend, the one who eats whatever they want, never exercises, and somehow stays thin. You've probably told yourself it's just good genes or a fast metabolism. But here's the strange part. Scientists have spent decades studying people exactly like this, and what they found is not what anyone expected. The real reason has almost nothing to do with what you think. And by the end of this video, you're going to look at your own body completely differently. So here's the mystery we're solving today. Why do some people eat thousands of calories and barely gain weight, while others gain weight just by looking at a donut? Is it really genetics? Is it metabolism? Or is something else going on? Something hiding in plain sight that almost nobody talks about? Let's start with the obvious answer, the one everyone gives. It's their metabolism. Some people just burn more calories at rest. That sounds right, but here's the problem. When scientists actually measured resting metabolism in thin people versus overweight people, they found something strange. The difference was tiny. In some cases, it barely existed at all. So if metabolism at rest isn't the big difference, then what is? This is where the story gets interesting. In 1990, Claude Bouchard and his colleagues conducted an unusual experiment involving 12 pairs of identical male twins. For 100 days, the participants lived under closely controlled conditions. On 6 days of each week, every man was given 1,000 calories more than his body needed, adding up to 84,000 excess calories over the entire experiment. If calories affected everyone in exactly the same way, their weight gains should have been fairly similar. They weren't. The average participant gained about 18 pounds, but the individual results range from roughly 9 to 29 pounds. Some bodies stored far more of the excess energy than others. Then researchers noticed the most important pattern. Identical twins tended to respond more like each other than like the other participants. If one twin gained a relatively large amount of weight, his brother usually did too. The twins also showed similarities in how much fat they gained and where that fat accumulated. The study did not show that genetics determines everything, but it provided powerful evidence that genes influence how differently two bodies can respond to the same period of overfeeding, affecting how much energy is stored, how much is expended, and where the added fat appears. So genetics clearly plays a role, but it doesn't explain why one person can eat a huge meal and shrug it off while their coworker gains weight from the same plate. There had to be something else, something that wasn't just written in DNA. And that's when researchers discovered something almost nobody knows about, something your body does every single day without you noticing. And it might be the real reason thin people stay thin. It's called NEAT. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Sounds complicated? It isn't. NEAT is just the energy you burn from everything that isn't sleeping, eating, or deliberate exercise. Fidgeting, standing instead of sitting, pacing while on the phone, taking the stairs without thinking about it. Tiny movements that seem meaningless. Here's where it gets shocking. A researcher named James Levine ran a study where he overfed a group of volunteers by exactly the same calories. Everyone ate the same excess, but the weight gain wasn't equal at all. Some people gained almost nothing. When Levine tracked their movements using sensors, he found the answer. The people who stayed lean weren't secretly exercising. They were unconsciously burning extra energy just by moving more throughout the day, without even realizing it. And the difference wasn't small. In some cases, NEAT alone accounted for burning almost 2,000 extra calories a day between the highest and lowest movers. 2,000 calories from fidgeting, standing, and small unconscious movement. So the mystery deepens. Why would some brains push the body to move constantly without being told to, while other brains keep the body still? This is where we go somewhere nobody expects. Your brain has a thermostat for body fat. It's controlled by a tiny region called the hypothalamus, and it uses a hormone called leptin released by fat cells to constantly check how much fat you're storing. If fat stores drop, leptin drops, and your brain panics. It doesn't know you're trying to lose weight on purpose. It thinks you're starving, so it slows your metabolism, increases hunger, and makes you feel tired, all to protect your fat stores. This is called the set point theory. And it explains something that felt impossible before. Why some people can eat more without gaining weight. Their brain's fat thermostat might simply be set lower.
Their body defends a leaner weight the same way your body defends its temperature at 98.6 degrees. Eat more, and their internal thermostat quietly turns up the dial on movement and heat production to burn it off. Eat more if you're not naturally lean, and your body might do the opposite. It locks the fat in and turns the dial down. But here's the twist that changes everything. This thermostat isn't fixed forever. It can be trained, and even more disturbing, it can be broken. Studies on people who lose large amounts of weight show something haunting. Their bodies often continue producing lower levels of a hormone called leptin and reduce calorie burning for years, sometimes indefinitely, even after they've kept weight off. Their brain is still fighting to pull them back to their old set point. This is one of the biggest reasons why maintaining weight loss is so much harder than losing the weight in the first place. It's not a lack of willpower, it's not laziness. It's biology quietly working against them. So if your set point can trap you at a heavier weight, what determines where that set point gets placed in the first place? Some of it is genetics, yes, but scientists have found other surprising influences. Chronic stress raises cortisol, which pushes fat storage toward the abdomen and can shift the set point higher over time. Poor sleep disrupts leptin and ghrelin, the hunger hormone, making your brain think you need more fuel than you actually do. Even the food environment you grew up in during childhood may help calibrate where your body decides normal weight should be. And here's one more twist that surprises almost everyone: brown fat. Most of the fat in your body is white fat, built purely for storage. But there's another type, brown fat, that does something completely different. It burns energy to produce heat. Thinner people tend to have more active brown fat than heavier individuals. When researchers exposed people to mild cold, those with more brown fat burnt noticeably more calories without moving a muscle. Some scientists believe this hidden furnace might be part of why certain people process extra calories as heat instead of storing them as fat. But wait, if moving more burns more calories, then the fix should be simple, right? Just exercise more, move more. Force your body to burn extra energy on purpose. Except when researchers tested this directly, they found something that broke a rule almost everyone assumes is true. An anthropologist named Herman Poncer studied the Hadza, a community in Tanzania who walk for miles every single day, hunting and gathering, far more physically active than almost anyone in a modern city. Logic says they should burn dramatically more total calories than someone sitting at a desk all day. So Poncer measured it directly, using a technique that tracks total energy expenditure with incredible precision. The number that came back stunned him. Despite being far more active, the Hadza burned roughly the same total daily calories as sedentary adults living in the United States and Europe. How is that even possible? The answer became one of the biggest shifts in metabolism research in the last decade. Your body doesn't just add exercise calories on top of everything else. It quietly compensates. Move more in one area and your body dials down energy spent elsewhere, on inflammation, on stress hormones, on cellular repair, on background processes you never notice. Scientists now call this the constrained energy model. Your total daily burn behaves less like a bank account that adds up every calorie you spend, and more like a budget your body defends within a narrow range, no matter how hard you try to push past it. This explains something that frustrates people trying to lose weight through exercise alone, and it hints at something even bigger about the people who stay thin without trying. Their bodies aren't necessarily burning wildly more total energy. They may simply be allocating that energy differently, sending it more towards fidgeting and heat production, and less towards fat storage, without their total budget changing much at all. So the mystery shifts one more time. The real question was never simply how many calories your body burns. It was how your brain and body quietly decide what to do with those calories long before you ever notice.
So let's put the whole puzzle together. It was never just one secret. It was never simply fast metabolism versus slow. The real answer is a combination of forces working together.
genetics that shape your baseline, a brain thermostat that defends a certain fat level using hormones like leptin, unconscious movement, NEAT, that can burn wildly different amounts of energy between two people eating the same meal, and even specialized fat tissue quietly converting calories into heat instead of storage. The people who never get fat aren't defying science. They're living proof of exactly how complex and personal these systems really are. Their bodies are simply running a different internal program, one shaped by genetics, brain chemistry, movement, sleep, and stress, all working together long before the food even reaches their plate. And that changes the entire conversation about weight. It was never just about willpower. It was never that simple. It was always a system, hidden inside you, quietly making decisions you never knew were happening. The next time you see someone eat a huge meal and stay perfectly lean, you'll know the truth. It's not magic, it's not just genetics, it's a hidden system of thermostats, hormones, unconscious movement, and energy budgets, all quietly negotiating behind the scenes, every single day, without either of you ever noticing.